I have many fond memories of sitting in my great-grandmother's home while she shared stories with my family about living during the Great Depression. She explained that growing up during this time taught her to always be frugal. Even if it isn't always necessary, it's still a wonderful way to live. Her example taught me so much about mindful spending, and I think everyone can learn many frugal living tips from the Great Depression. I admire everyone who went through the Depression. It was such a hard and difficult time for many people. But through that process, they learned how to be creative with the things they owned, resourceful with their belongings, and prudent with their earnings. They learned to never waste, and to always think long and hard before spending any money. Today, I'm sharing a few of their frugal tips, and I hope these tips can help you live frugally and save more money. We can all be a little more frugal, even if it isn't a necessity. Number 1, make your own household cleaners. It was almost unheard of to buy a household cleaning product at the store during the Depression era. Most households knew the basic ingredients to whip up their own cleaning recipe. They saved a lot of money simply by making their own. The best part is that you probably already have every ingredient you need to make your own household cleaners. Number 2, turn off the air conditioner. I know this is a tough one, but most homes did not have air conditioners during the Depression years, and they survived. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but they survived. Try to keep cool instead by using fans, sitting outside in the shade, using cool washcloths, and keeping blinds closed during the hot part of the day. If turning the air conditioner off completely feels too much for you, then try to increase the thermostat a few degrees so that you are using it less often. Number 3, eat at home. Families rarely, if ever, went out to eat during the Depression. Money was just too tight to spend it on a night out. Every meal was spent together, at home, enjoying food made from scratch. Cooking at home will make a huge difference in your budget each month. Number 4, trade skills. Another common frugal living tip from the Great Depression is to trade skills with each other. During the Depression era, neighbors, friends, and acquaintances were often bartering their skills with each other in an attempt to save money. We can still follow this example today. If you are great at photography, you could offer to take your neighbors' pictures, and in return, they could donate a service to you, like teaching your kids a musical instrument, cutting your hair, or anything else you need that they can do. Number 5, make do with what you have. Something breaks? You don't have the exact ingredient that you need. Make it do. If you can be content with what you already have, you will be much more likely to make it do, rather than spending on the next big thing. I have 2 personal examples for you. Example 1. We spent years watching everyone around us switching from flip phones to smartphones. I would be asked regularly why I still used such an old-fashioned phone. My answer? Because this one still works fine. Of course, I would have rather have been using a flashy smartphone with all those cool apps and emojis, but I was on a small budget, so the flip phone was all I needed. Now, I'm not saying that you should get rid of your smartphones. What I am saying is that I want you to start looking at what you have in your home differently. Example 2. Last year, we wanted to update my 13-year-old's bedroom to give her more of a teenage room and less of a young girl room. She had requested more coral and less yellow. Our goal was to only use what we already had around the house, all while giving her room a completely new look. We made a tassel garland out of scrap fabric. She searched through old decorations that we had put in the storage room to find pieces she liked. We decided to paint over a yellow sign, but didn't have any coral paint. So we mixed pink with orange and came up with the perfect coral color. Long story short, we made it work, and she now has a teenage room that she loves. Take good care of what you already own. Make rules like no shoes in the house, no jumping on the furniture, rearrange your furniture for a new look. Swap decor amongst different rooms to switch things up. Set a grocery budget and stick to it, no matter what. Make whatever you have in your pantry and fridge last for as long as you need to. Keep your electronics in good condition and use them until they break, even if they are old and uncool. Number 6, learn how to sew. Sewing clothes was very common during the Depression. While I'm not suggesting you need to start making all of your own clothes, I do recommend that everyone learns a few basic sewing skills. Being able to sew on a button, hem a dress, or mend a rip will save you a lot of money and help you prevent waste. Number 7, forage. Yes, you read that right. Foraging is a great way to save money on food. And it's actually really fun too. Scout out areas in your community or nearby that has wild berries or other plants growing and go forage. Every summer, my family drives to a nearby spot and spends a day picking huckleberries. We freeze these huckleberries and use them all year. Number 8, hang your laundry to dry. You will save a lot of money on electricity just by simply using your dryer less and hanging your clothes to dry instead. An outdoor clothesline is the most traditional method to drying clothes. However, you could also dry them in your house. I really like this foldable laundry rack, and I personally have this wall-mounted drying rack in my laundry room. It works great during the cold winter months. Number 9, learn to do it yourself. Another way to a lot of money is by learning to do it yourself. I know the phrase "do it yourself" brings out a lot of different feelings to different people. Some feel excited and motivated. Others might feel a sense of panic and worry. Do you want to learn more do-it-yourself but feel stuck or confused about where to start? I understand. And guess what? Learning to do it yourself is actually incredibly easy. All it takes is a quick search on Google and a few minutes reading blog tutorials and watching YouTube videos. That's really it. It's exactly how my husband and I have been able to successfully complete dozens of our very do-it-yourself projects. Start small, go slow, and ask questions. You just might surprise yourself with a few new talents and a big savings in your budget. Number 10, grow your own food. During the Great Depression, it was common for everyone to have large gardens. Not only was it necessary to grow your own food, it was also the way of life. I believe that it is just as important to grow our own food today as it was back then. We don't have any control over grocery prices, so the more we can do to save money in the kitchen, the better. If gardening scares you, don't worry. You don't need to grow a lot of food to begin saving money. Even a small window garden will help you lower grocery costs. Number 11, preserve garden produce. Speaking of growing your own food, it's equally important to understand how to preserve the food that you grow. A freezer or pantry full of preserved garden produce is one of the best ways to save money all year long. While you will need to spend money to buy canning supplies, this initial investment has paid off over and over for my family. Also check out our other frugality videos on this channel.